Hello students, welcome to Tapasvi School. I, Siddharth Joshi, would like to welcome you all in our active and passive grammar series. Students, as you know that this is the 7th video of active and passive grammar series, and in this video we are going to see the last phase of active and passive voice, that is imperative active and passive sentences. Now if you are talking about what is called imperative sentences, right? So usually there are 4 different types of sentences, right? As if you are talking about, first sentence is assertive sentence, then second is interrogative, which we have already discussed in our previous videos. Interrogative means the question, the question type sentences, or the sentences which usually end up with the question mark. Assertive sentences means which usually denote any kind of a declaration or a simple kind of a routinal activity, right? And which also end up with the full stop. Third type of sentences are exclamatory sentences, which usually shows any of the surprise, any of the anger, any of the happiness, or any of the exclamatory mark, which usually end up with the exclamatory mark, right? And the fourth type of sentences are imperative sentences. Now imperative sentences, students, are the sentences which usually shows or which usually denote any of the order, command, request, advice, suggestion, etc. So the point is that how we are going to use these kind of sentences in our active and passive voice, right? So here I have come up with the active and passive imperative sentences. So let's quickly start. See students, here I have talked about the imperative sentences, that this type of sentences usually denote any command, order, request, suggestion, or advice. Now this I already told you about, that this kind of sentences are the imperative sentences. Now see the second point, students. They also end up with the full stop like assertive sentences. There is a twist in the story, that usually how can we recognize, how can we identify the types of sentences that I told you, that there are 4 types. First is assertive. In assertive sentence, how can we identify that? Usually not by the meaning. If not by the meaning, then how can we recognize, or how can we identify the meaning of it? Usually it end up with the full stop. This is what the common sign of recognition in assertive sentences. Now if you are talking about interrogative, then usually these kind of sentences end up with the question mark. So even over there also there would be a simple kind of sign of recognition. Third type, that is exclamatory. Even these kind of sentences end up with the exclamatory mark, right? But now how to recognize these kind of sentences, as even they end up themselves with the question, full stop. So here now the point is we need to identify what is the assertive and what is the imperative sentence by their meaning also. Why? Because there will be a common between 2 of the sentences, is that both the sentences or both the type of sentences usually end up with the full stop. That's why. Now in active and passive voice, what is the role of imperative sentences in active and passive voice, students? So in active and passive voice, students, these sentences are called subject-less sentences. Why they are called subject-less sentences? Because it does not contain any subject. Now students, in active and passive voice, whatever videos we have seen, right? And most of the things which I have taught you about the structure. In the very first video I told you about what is subject, what is object, what is verb, and rest of the videos which we have seen up till now in active and passive grammar series, right? Structure would be started, if you are talking about the active voice structure, it is always started with the subject. And in the passive voice structure also, what we used to do? We used to keep the subject in the end of the sentences, right? So usually the thing is, it was easy for us because there was a subject in the sentence. But here, now what we will do? here we won't be having any single subject. So at that time, what should be done? Let's see. So how to frame a structure of such sentences without subject? That's the main question. At such situation, we usually use one word, let. Let me repeat, students. In place of subject in such situation where subject is missing in imperative sentences, at that time we use one word, that is let. Right? Now, how to see it further? Let's see. Now see, this is the structure of imperative active voice structure. Now, imperative active voice. Earlier we have seen the active voice structure and passive voice structure. Then in the next phase we have seen I-AV structure, means interrogative AV structure and interrogative PV structure. Now this is imperative active structure and imperative passive structure. So let's see what is so unique in imperative active and imperative passive. So if you can see, students, that here in imperative active structure, what is missing? So it starts with the verb, if you can see over here, right? Verb plus object plus other words. This is the imperative active voice structure, students. Now what is missing? You can identify that there would be a missing, that is subject. It's a missing over here. So now what to be done? So at the time of framing the sentence into a passive voice, right? Before I come up with the passive voice structure, let me give you a very quick example of active voice, and that active voice is close the door. Now this is, as I told you, when I have started the video, at that time I have shown you the definition of imperative sentence. What was the definition? That this type of sentence is usually denote any command, any order, any request, any suggestion, any advice, right? Now, if you are talking about this particular sentence, this is the active voice sentence. Close the door. Now, this sentence, what does it shows? It shows the order, or it shows the command, right? So now, if you can analyze this particular sentence, then see, close is the verb, right? As per the structure, close is the verb. The door is the object. Now in this particular sentence there is no other word. So close the door is the active imperative structure and active imperative sentence. Now how to convert that sentence into a passive voice? So let's quickly see it, students. Now let me come to a imperative passive voice structure. Imperative passive voice structure is, as you can see, that I have used one word, that is let. Let plus object plus one auxiliary has been added over here, right? That auxiliary is be. So that be auxiliary has been added in the passive voice structure of imperative sentences. So let plus object plus be plus V3 plus other words. So this is the imperative passive voice structure. Now, which example we have taken in the active imperative sentence, close the door. Now let's transform the same sentence into a passive voice. How can we do it? So if you can see over here, close the door, that was the active imperative sentence. Now if you would like to convert into a passive voice, as usual according to the structure, put the let over here. So let would be here in place of subject as per the structure, plus object. Now what was the object of the sentence? The door, right? And here be auxiliary as per the structure, and close was V1, right? Here it would be transformed into a V3. So this is your sentence, that let the door be closed. This is your passive imperative sentence. Isn't it easy, students? Right? So now we have 7 different examples, right? So we'll analyze each and every sentence and we'll try to write the answer so that you'll have more grip on these kind of sentences, right? So let's start with the first sentence, right? Let's analyze one by one sentences, students, right? So first of all, see this particular sentence, do the work, right? Now all these 7 sentences, let me tell you before we start, students, are from active voice only. So all these sentences will be given according to the active imperative structure, right? So in order to do it into a passive voice, right, what step we shall follow? We shall follow the imperative passive voice structure, and then we would transform it into a passive voice. But before then, that the most essential topic which I told you, that before we transform any sentence into a passive voice, what things should be taken care? That we need to identify what is called subject and what is called object and what is called verb, right? And which tense does it follow? In active imperative sentences, usually it denotes a present tense only, so there is no need to worry about. But here one another what you can say challenge for us is that these kind of sentences does not have any subject. So we need to identify each and every sentences, analyze the sentence, then we can transform it into a passive voice. Now see this, do the work. This is the first sentence. Now according to the structure, here is the verb, it's a V1, and the verb is the object. Now how can we transform it into a passive voice? So see the structure. As usual, what shall be added? That would be let, right? So let, without thinking anything, without analyzing anything, one word I have already added, that is let, because it's a part of structure. So let I have already added. Now what is the structure? Object. Here in this sentence, what is the object? The verb. So let me write let the verb. Now what is here? That is be. So let me write be over here. Let the verb be. And do was V1. Now if you would like to transform that into a V3, it would become done. So let the work be done. Here is the answer of first sentence. So now I think you have already started, what you can say, gathering or mustering confidence about even imperative sentences, right? Because it seems really easy. Okay, so let's see the second sentence, students. See what it is written, keep it there. So here it is, first of all, keep is V1, it is the object, and there is the other words. Now little complex, right? But no need to worry. Again, you just need to follow the steps, nothing else. You just need to follow the structure. Then any of the sentence, whether it is simple, whether it is what you can say complex, you will be able to do it any of the sentences by yourself without any kind of a help. But the only thing which is necessary, students, that I told you, that you need to follow the structure and you need to practice it as much as possible, right? Now let's come to the answer of this, or let's transform it into a passive voice. So first of all, as I am following the structure, so I am writing let, right? Now what is object? It. So again let it. What would be the next? Be. So let it be. Then keep was V1. So if we would like into a V3, then keep will become kept, right? So let me write kept over here. Let it be kept. Other words will remain at its place only. You don't need to disturb those other words. Wherever it would be in active voice sentence, you need to put it there in passive voice also. You don't need to change their place because their place is fixed, right? And if you move those other words, then you may get confused about because in the what you can say in the beginning of the sentence and at the middle of the sentences there are other things also to be followed. So there would be ideally there is nothing wrong if you move the other words, but ideally it becomes little complicated for you. So better or advisable is that you don't need to change the places of other words. Let it be there wherever it is in active voice. You just need to keep it in the passive voice also. Now let it be kept. There was the other word, so I am keeping it here. So here is your answer. Keep it there was active imperative, so passive for the same is let it be kept there. This is the passive voice structure. Now the third sentence, let's see the third sentence. What is the third sentence? Take it home. Now this particular sentence, I guess, for any of the food parcel or for any of the object, perhaps someone has said or someone has spoken that take it home, right? So now again it's a order. So what shall we do? We are following the active voice. So take, here is the V1. This is the V1. It here again is the object and home is the other words. So now we have already analyzed it. Now quickly move to the passive voice structure of this what you can say imperative voice. That is, first of all we need to write let according to the structure. So let, then object. What is the object over here? It. Let it. Then we need to put be auxiliary. Let it be. Take is the V1 student. So what if we would like to transform it into a V3, it would become taken. So let it be taken. Home will remain home at its place because it's the other word. So here is your sentence ready. Let it be taken home, right? Now let's see the fourth example. This is request. See the sentence, students. Please help me. This is the request. Why? How can we identify that it's a request? Because of one particular word, that is please, right? So as I told you that this type of imperative sentences not only shows order or command, because up till now we have only seen the what you can say types of commands only. But this is the what you can say request. Please help me. How can we identify? Because of the word please. That's why. So in this particular sentence, students, one different analysis, one different experiment we are going to do. That you can see over here that please word is given because it is a what you can say, it shows request. So while analyzing it, let me show you one unique thing. Here help is V1. Now you must be wondering that, sir, according to the structure, here verb should come first. Instead of that, verb is coming in the middle of the sentence. What is this? But here, students, this particular word shows a request. Now help is V1 and me is the object. So now you must be wondering that now what to be done? What is to be done with the please? While converting that particular sentence into a passive voice, students, we need to remove the word please. How? So let's see. Let me put the word let as it is according to the passive voice structure. Then me is the object, so let me. Then be is the auxiliary, so let me be. And so ultimately here is your sentence ready, that according to the structure V1 and object is given, please word is showing the request, right? So that please word we need to remove while transforming into a passive voice. That's why. Now let's see the next sentence. Do not touch it. Let me repeat, do not touch it. So again, here in the sentence, what we need to do? Here, not is a negative word, right? Touch is the V1 because it shows the action of touching, that's why. And it is the object. Now, you must be wondering, sir, what to be done with this do. So let's see what I will do in the, what you can say, passive voice structure. As far as the passive voice structure is concerned, let me put let. Now, object. What is the object of the sentence, students? Let it. Right? Now, be. But before than that, make sure one negative word is given, that is not. So let me write that. Let it not. Then be. Let it not be. Then this V1 would become V3. That would be touched. So this do of this particular sentence again will be removed in the passive voice structure because it shows the, what you can say, a kind of a, what you can say, suggestion or a kind of a order that do not touch it, right? So ultimately in the passive voice structure, do word has been removed and we have formed the sentence, or we have framed the sentences like let it not be touched. So the meaning of the sentences we have preserved, we have conserved the meaning. So it's okay if we have removed the words. In the previous sentence also we have removed the word please, but the meaning or the sense of the sentence has been preserved, has been conserved. So that's what our purpose is, that the meaning or a sense of the sentence should be what you can say, preserved. It should not be disturbed because it would be asked in transformation of the sentences. And what is the rule of transformation? Transformation means changing from one particular form of sentence into another form of sentence without the changing of meaning. Let me repeat, without the changing of meaning. That's the main core purpose of the transformation of sentences, right? So now let's quickly move to the next sentence. Again, a similar kind of a sentence has been given, which we have done in the fifth one. Do not beat the dog. Let me repeat, do not beat the dog. This is the sentence. Now again, in this particular sentence, when we transform it into a passive voice, at that time do word would be removed. How? Let's see. First of all, let's analyze the sentence. Do as it is, as I told you. Now no, not is the negative word, beat is the V1. The dog is object. So let's transform it into a passive voice. So as usual, according to the passive imperative structure, let me put let over here. Let. Then object, what is the object? The dog. Let the dog. Now be. But before that, what is necessary? We need to put that negative word which is given in the active imperative sentence, that is not. So before putting be, we need to put not. So let the dog not, right? Then be as it is, that auxiliary, and beat, which was V1, when it would be transformed into a passive voice, at that time it would become V3. So beat will become beaten. So here is your sentence ready. Then let the dog not be beaten. This is the answer of the sentence. Now the last one, let me show you the last sentence, that is let me do it. Now you must be wondering, students, that here in the active imperative structure or active imperative sentence let is given, sir. So now at the time of passive voice structure, shall we need to put 2 times let? No. Here is the twist. So how can we do it? Let's analyze. Then you will realize it by yourself. So let as it is. What to be done with this let? I'll just tell you. Me is the object over here. Sorry, me it is the object over here, students. Do is V1. Now this me is other words. Now you must be wondering, sir, other words, it should come at last. Why it is given over here? See students, I have taken this particular example intentionally in order to explain you that like it is not necessary in exam that all the sentences should come according to according to our structure only. You need to be, what you can say, little bit intellectual also. You need to be little bit insightful also. Why? Because every time we will not get the structure as it is. So you need to be very, very precise in order to recognize what is called subject and what is called object, right? So here this particular let will be as it is. So according to a passive voice structure, as you can see that this let should be added, but here let is already given, so we don't need to use let two times. This let I am keeping as it is, right? It is the object, let it. Then be would be auxiliary, let it be done, it's V3 by me. So here is your sentence, let it be done by me. This is the sentence answer. So accordingly we have ultimately identified, we have solved all the examples, students, right? So this was the end of our active and passive voice grammar series, right? In all the 7 videos, let me give you a very quick recap that in the first video it was the introductory video of active and passive grammar series, in which I have identified about what is called subject, what is called object and what is called verb, and even we have identified that types of, what you can say, verb forms, right? 5 different types of verb forms, V1, V2, V3, V4 and V5 we have seen. In the second video I have shown you about the meaning of active and passive voice, why we are using active and passive voice and the general structure also. And moreover in that video we have taken 2 of the tenses, that was simple present tense and simple past tense. In the third video we have taken 3 more tenses, that was simple future tense, present continuous tense and past continuous tense. In the fourth video, right, in the fourth video we have taken 3 more tenses, that was about the present perfect tense, it was about the present perfect tense, past perfect tense and future perfect tense. So these 3 tenses also we have seen in the fourth video, right? And also I told you about that the 4 tenses in which the passive voice structure is not possible. Why it is not possible, that also I have shown you in the video number 4. In the 5th video I have told you about the interrogative sentences, use of all the tenses in interrogative way, means we have seen the structures of question mark, active and passive voice, right? According to all the tenses we have done it. Video number 6 also we have identified some of the remaining imperative structures, remaining interrogative structures, and this is the video number 7 in which I have shown you about the imperative types of active and passive voice sentences, right? So I hope that this series would have definitely helped you in your active and passive voice type of questions, right? If up till now your active and passive voice has not been cleared, I am sure after seeing these 7 videos your active and passive grammatical skills would be definitely enhanced and you are more likely to score good marks as far as this active and passive voices are concerned, right? We have come up with what you can say, an entire grammar series, right? Now this was the first series of 7 videos about active and passive voice, right? Next series would be types of sentences, right? Now in that types of sentences, as in this video only I told you about 4 different types of sentences. That would be assertive sentence, then interrogative sentence, then exclamatory sentence and imperative sentence. So in the upcoming series we are going to see from changing from one particular, what you can say, form of sentence or form of sentence into another. So that would be also very much exciting and very much enjoyable series, right? Like this one. So stay tuned about that particular series, right? In the next series, as I told you about the types of sentences we are going to discuss, right? So I'll soon come up with that particular series. Stay tuned. Thank you so much, students.